Hey gang, look who's here with us today. Britton. We have Mr. Britton, but he is with us today. So, we are back at Rosehill Cemetery. We're in the Rosehill Mausoleum. And we're just getting together today for a little short. I needed my Britton fix. Yeah, but we wanted to tell the story of an interesting actress. No one, I'd be curious if any one of you have heard of her from the Silver Screen days. Her name was
Mimi Forsythe.
Mimi Forsythe. But first, so we're in the John G. Shedd Chapel area. We're at the far end. But first, there was, as we were walking in here, right here, Britton was telling me about the Vehan family. William H. Vehan. So what was the story with this? The connection?
The Vehans were a prominent retail family. They owned a company called the Royal Tailors, and they have a majority of their family out in the cemetery. There's actually a little vestibule or like a couch kind of bench thing set up in a semicircle around a pretty big area. The Vehans had a case of grave robbery at the turn of the century, which was somewhat covered up. There's not too much to find out about it, but yeah, one of the Vehan daughters was dug up.
Really?
And then you had at the turn of the 21st century vandalism at the family plot. Like I was mentioning earlier, it's a concrete bench around a little circular area. In the center, there was a fountain with a bronze statue that 2 times vandals tried to take. Pretty big. It was modeled after the Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, but this statue has since been removed, and it took away, kind of the landmark status, I would say, of their family's plot.
So you were saying that the Vehan family was involved in some type of like the ghouls, like the not just the vandalism, but the grave robbing.
Yeah.
But Rosehill was very, unlike over at Graceland and some of the other cemeteries we've talked about this, they were really paranoid about not having this happen here, and it did, but more so that they would cover it up.
Yeah.
Right.
At a certain point from 1880 to 1920, there was 24-hour security on the cemetery grounds. Rosehill took pride in the fact that they had dogs and groundsmen up keeping watch of the ground, of the burial grounds at all times during that time frame. And that was to promote, the security would get more business.
Yeah, well, they got a lot of big names here. Mm-hmm. So down here, that's the Shedd Chapel. So as we walk there towards where her real name was Marie
Armstrong.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about her. She was born in Chicago, right? Wealthy?
Yeah, December of 1921. Her father, Arthur Armstrong, was executive for steel magnate Mellon of Carnegie and Mellon.
Right.
Born into prominence.
So she was growing up with the luxury, and she wanted to become an actress?
Yeah.
So she kind of married her way in, right?
Yeah, she sure did. She married a producer, a fellow by the name of Bogeaus.
Bogeaus, yeah.
Bogeaus.
Not sure the pronunciation of that.
Bogeaus.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Bogeaus.
Bogeaus?
Yeah. He had been a real estate developer up until the Great Depression, where he lost all of his fortune, and then he moved to Europe for a brief period of time, where he started a new career, being a film producer.
Right. Well, actually, walking to her crypt, again, this is the John G. Shedd. We've done a story here. I'll put the link in.
Quite a few.
It's quite an amazing. Nobody hardly comes here, certainly not the families. Here is the corridor, guys. Now, we've been through here before. This is on the left, the dark mysterious corridor of Montgomery Ward. But we've already covered that, so yeah, so tell us more about her. So she goes to Hollywood, she marries this guy, they have a kid, right?
Yeah. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but he was known for his size. He was big, and he also became an actor, their son.
Right.
From there, they divorce. I want to say he marries another actress right after that.
Right.
And she married a fella who was, I think he was either involved in banking or real estate. He ended up dying in a car crash.
Yeah, well, she married a car dealer, but that was
the
third.
husband.
Yeah, the third guy was Parnell, I think. Or maybe it was the second. But anyway, so he dies, she becomes a widow, and she goes right out and she marries this Chicago guy who's the auto dealer.
Yeah.
And
Parnell.
yeah. And what's mysterious about all this is that she had a mysterious death. So I guess she died in Santa Monica. So her son was 4 years old at the time with her first husband, the producer. And 2 days before she died, and she had contacted her father, who she hadn't talked to forever, and said, maybe a year, and said, I want you to take custody of our little boy. He's 4 years old. And he's like, okay. And it was like all legalized. And 2 days later, she's dead. So she's at Santa Monica Hospital, I think it was. And they, you know how Hollywood is cover up back those days, no bad, no scandals and all that. And they said she died of natural causes, but she was a manic depressant, all kinds of bad stuff. So she's only 30 years old, and she probably kills herself, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And many people say that.
Ups and downs with her career led to a diagnosis of chronic depression. She had gained custody of her son from her first husband by getting an abusive marriage or something like that.
Yeah.
She was able to
Abusive.
Declared, and then the
Mental
state,
abuse and maybe physical.
The state ruled in her favor. Crazy thing, she ends up reconciling with that first husband of hers, and I don't know if they were remarried or not.
Yeah, they had a reconciliation.
But after that, she did end up getting more film roles out in California, but it couldn't heal the wounds.
I think she was in like 3 movies, maybe 4. She wasn't a big star. Or her, let's see, she's right over here. Yeah. Armstrong. Yeah, she's right here. And now this is kind of a prominent area for Rosehill. But of course, the Armstrong family, they were loaded. Now what's interesting is her father, Arthur's here, who died, looks like 7 years after she did. Oh no, wait. 1885, she was born.
Her mother.
No, Arthur would be her brother, because he was born 5 years before her, right? 1885, and she was born in 1890, so it has to be her brother.
The actress was born in 1921.
Oh, these are the parents. So is she here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so she's said to be here, but this is not her. These are the parents. So do you think she's here?
I do.
Why would she be unmarked?
Very interesting.
Yeah, a little mystery, guys.
Well, maybe the gang can dig in and...
Like I didn't even, it was on Find a Grave, and I was like, oh, that's her grave, that's what they have. Didn't even look at the dates. But yeah, what do you guys think? Does anybody have any ideas or know what's going on here? So, all right, we'll close it out here. Please put it in comments if you know. And by the way, Britain, I got to tell you something. It's funny, you guys. Oh, Britain, what's Britain's YouTube channel? Britain doesn't have a YouTube channel. YouTube's for amateurs like me. Britain is a film producer, and actually he's coming out soon with a new film it might be on AMC or what's?
The Shutter Network, which is a smaller streaming service that's owned by AMC Channel.
Right.
Yeah, we might get a show, me and my pal Ari.
Yeah, so the show is, they've got a little promo they're going to be coming out with, and if you want, I'll give you guys the link when it comes out. Maybe I'll post it. But it looks really cool. It's about Chicago stories, a lot of the things that have happened here, a lot of ghost stuff, maybe some paranormal, I don't know.
A lot of stuff you and I have already covered and shed good light on,
but you're going to cover the spooky aspects.
Yeah, Chicago stories, it's called.
Cool. All right, man. Well, we'll see you guys on the next one. Thought we'd just share this little walk with you today. Catch you later.
Bye.